Elisa section, I will perform the roll call. I'm Albert Austria, BPSA Bulgaria, CPSA Croatia, EPSA Cyprus, CPSA Czech Republic, SOP Denmark, and France, BPSA Germany, GPSF Greece, LPSA Latvia, SFD Lithuania, KNP Sweden Netherlands, EPSA Belgium delegated to KNP Sweden Netherlands, BPSA Poland, ASPA Portugal, PASFER Romania, NAPSER Serbia, SPSA Slovakia, SPSA Slovenia, FEF Spain, ASP Switzerland, UPSA International Turkey, UPSA Ukraine.
Thank you.
Keep it up.
Elisa?
Elisa section, there are 20 voting members present.
Gabriel?
I resume the standing orders.
Okay, so we will proceed with the Gabriel.
Gabriel, President. Okay, so we forgot to put the changes to the compendium in the agenda, so I just added it. It'll be a slight change, and we'll do it now. It's the ones that we told you that it was already supposed to be last GA, but we forgot to put them in the GA package. But it's the historical documents.
Okay, we'll proceed with the compendium annexes. And I will read the motion. The 65th EPSA General Assembly approves the changes of the EPSA compendium annexes proposed by the executive. And I open the floor for discussion. Gabriel?
Gabriel, President, I close the floor.
Then we'll proceed on to voting. I will ask if there are any abstentions. Who is against? And who votes for? And we have 20 votes for, none against and no abstentions, so we will proceed on to the next point, which is executive motions. And I will start reading the first motion. The 65th EPSA General Assembly mandates the EPSA executive to implement the results of the investigation on the evaluation of EPSA projects and activities until the 67th EPSA General Assembly at the latest. And I open the floor for discussion. Gabriel?
Gabriel, President, I've explained this during the official delegates meeting, but I'll explain it again. As you saw, the final report on this investigation about the evaluation projects and activities is only identifying the issues that we found, and we believe that now work should be done to correct those issues together with you, and we think that this motion is the way to ensure that it is done by this deadline.
Are there any other points? Gabriel?
Gabriel, President, then I close the floor for discussion.
Thank you, and we will proceed on to voting. I will ask if there are any abstentions. Is anyone against? And who votes for? And we have 20 votes for, none against and no abstentions. So we will, the motion is carried, and we will continue with the next motion, which reads the 65th EPSA General Assembly mandates the EPSA executive to perform an investigation on the structure of the methodology booklet project and present a proposal for a new structure to the 66th EPSA General Assembly at the latest. And I open the floor for discussion. Gabriel?
Gabriel, President, we will be finalizing the changes to the structure of methodology booklet. We've talked about this before. We will change the name, we will change the way we collect data. Some of the changes were already implemented, some might still be missing, but we will try to work on this motion as soon as possible. And during the handover period, since it will be moving to the policy coordinator's portfolio, and this is the best time to do it as they're planning for their mandate.
Thank you. Are there any other new points? I see none, so Gabriel.
Gabriel President, I close the floor for discussion.
And then we will proceed on to voting on the motion. I will ask if there are any abstentions. Anyone against? And who votes for? And we have 20 votes for, none against, and no abstentions. So the motion is carried, and we will go on. The next motion reads, the 65th EPSA General Assembly waives the late fee of EMUPS Cyprus for the year 2023 and allows them to pay the regular membership fee until the 66th EPSA General Assembly. For these articles 22.8.10.1 and 22.8.10.2 will be overruled. And I open the floor for discussion.
Gabriel, President. I told you about this in the official delegates meeting as well, but EMUPS reached out to us and said that because of the earthquake that happened in affected Syria, Turkey, and Cyprus, their area was really affected, and they are not receiving the funds from the faculty to pay for this. They are still able to pay because it's the faculty that pays the fee, it's not them. But they asked us for more time, so we don't think that they should be charged a late fee because it's not their fault that the membership fee is late.
Thank you. Is the live stream alive? Hope yes. Okay. I see no other new points, so Gabriel, go ahead.
Gabriel, President, I close the floor.
Okay, and we will proceed on to voting. I will ask if there are any abstentions on the motion. Who is against? And who votes for? And we have 20 votes for, none against, and no abstentions. So the motion is carried. On to the next one, which reads, the 65th EPSA General Assembly mandates the EPSA Executive to publish a press release to present the new EPSA team and the priorities for the mandate 2023-2024 across all its social media platforms and send it to all relevant partners. Apologies. And I open the floor for discussion. Gabriel.
Gabriel, President, we've discussed this in this General Assembly, so I think everyone knows why we're proposing this. I hope you were satisfied with the wording.
Any new points? I see none. Gabriel?
Gabriel, President, I close.
Thank you for closing. Then we will move on to voting. I will ask if there are any abstentions. Is anyone against? And who votes for? And we have 20 votes for, none against, and no abstentions, so the motion is carried. And now, if the executive motions point is done, we will move on to the annual Congress reports of the External Relations Department, and we will start first with the Vice President of External Relations, Theo Fava. And Theo, please present your updates. You can go ahead.
Theo VPR. Dear General Assembly, since the writing of my report, I had a meeting with Catalina and European Public Health Alliance to discuss collaboration. I had a meeting together with Catalina and Gabriel regarding Beatrice's partnership proposal. Had a meeting together with Catalina in Pharma Connect regarding our potential participation as speaker at the Global Pharmaceutical Regulatory Affairs Summit. I supported Alex and helped him with the design for the career week and attended each session. I went to Paris with Gabriel to record a professional EPSA presentation video. I had a meeting with Galenica for sponsorship. I attended EPSA financial meeting, reviewed the budget proposal, attended, liaised, and called every EPSA partner participating in AC23. I attended the 50 meeting, liaised with Thiago regarding EPSA house logistics, liaised with Serlier and Jensen for next year partnership. had a meeting with my buddy, read and ask questions on the 2018 report, had a meeting with Carja Publisher to discuss sponsorships, open to work fund opportunities in Amsterdam, yes with Sandra for partners in monthly dose, and Leila for promotional posts on LinkedIn and Instagram, and shared external opportunities in Brussels among interns. Regarding my speech, I would like to start my thanks by thanking Maeva and Chloe, because they are the two ones that made me discover EPSA, and that's the reason why I'm here today as well. I want to thank my team, and particularly my executive that was always present here to support me during the year, Alex and Pim, my two coordinators, and particularly the two people that I worked with the most this year, Gabriel, that was always available to support me in my work and to help me in my work, and Catalina, without who I think the mandate would not have been the same. I think our collaboration this year was amazing, and I couldn't expect a better person to collaborate with this year. Thank you.
Thank you, and I open the floor for questions. Apef, go ahead.
Beatriz out of Portugal. Thank you for your mandate in general. Sorry, other Portuguese people that have been complaining about this. Our question would be regarding the internship with Medicines Europe. Medicines for Europe? Yeah, sorry. We would want to know a little bit more about this situation because we think it's kind of a sensitive topic, so we would want to have this more clear. Thank you.
Theo?
Theo, VPR. What I put in my report is what I can say too, because we have confidential problem with Medicines for Europe. We can't divulgate too much information. The only thing I can say is like they decided to end the internship because one, they were not satisfied, and two, also due to internal problems.
Thank you. Then we have Anef.
Marion, Annette France. We would just want to thank you, Theo, for this work you have done this year. You have been committed yourself more than 100% to this position with a motivation worthy of moving mountains. What a result more tangible and concrete than bringing thousands of euros into the structure where you officiate. Thank you, Theo, for all work you have done during your mandate at ANEP and now at EPSA. ANEP could not be more proud.
Thank you. Then we have EPSA.
Kate, EPSA Ukraine, we would like also to say thank you for all your work in so informative report, and also the meeting which you visited is impressive. You mentioned in your report that it's difficult to see that the opportunity promoted on the local level. We were thinking that replying to each email when we agree with everything and already promoted the opportunity could be overwhelming for you, team, and other assists. Do you think it will be beneficial to reply to your email with a feedback about the ways and results of promotion, or do you have any other ideas how to get the feedback from LS?
Theo?
Theo, VPR. I think the email will be like just spamming, and I don't think it will be useful. However, I think it's always cool if you can tag EPSA when you do some publication on your social media, because I have a list on Twitter with only the tweet of the member association. I always try to like your post when you tag EPSA on LinkedIn as well, so I think it will be the best way to do.
Thank you. Then we have GPSF.
We would like to thank you and congratulate you for all your work this year too as well. It is truly impressive, and also for all the guidance, support and advices you provided us with. You've been amazing, and for always being available and reaching out so quickly. So we would like to ask you that since you don't have, we didn't have an application for your position, and it might be a bit difficult to be filled out, what are your plans about that? How are you going to deal with the handover or educate the next team on how to deal with the situation? Thank you.
Theo?
Theo, VPR. If my successor is elected late, I will still stick to my handover. I will try to make it like instead of having like every week some plans, I will try to compact everything, and I will make myself available until the end of August if necessary. It will not be a problem. I know the importance of this position and the problem we had in the past, so I will make sure the handover is good and the person will have all the information before I leave.
Thank you. Then we have Asep.
Yasmin Azeb Switzerland. So we just wanted to point out a small mistake on page 4. It's written that Galenica was the sponsor of the Summer University 2023. It's actually 2022.
KMPSV.
Eline KPC Netherlands. So we also wanted to give you a big compliment on all the work you've done. Really, your report was like the best one. It was so detailed, so clear, and we really appreciate that, especially because it is such an important position. It really shows all the great work you've done, especially building up such a big partner base starting from zero. So that's really something that should be pointed out. A question is about the internship, because you mentioned a little bit of critique on like interns not really properly representing EPSA at like external events there. Do you have any ideas on how to tackle this? Could you elaborate on it?
Theo.
Theo here. I already started brainstorming on it. I think with Catalina we will try to have a networking training with the new interns during the summer for them to have all the skills to go to external events. I think also during when the people from the new team will send their application to the executive, I think they will we will highlight the importance of going to external events when they are intern, and this is like the main part of the reason. Like it is the reason why we created also EPSA internship, and I will make sure the next intern are very much aware about that.
Thank you. Then we have Apef.
Beatriz Apef, Portugal. With many partners, it also always comes to the discussion on when there are too many partners and how conflict of interest can come from this. So, what is your opinion on this? How do you think it should be proceeding next year? Because you came from like 0 partners in the beginning of your mandate, and it's impressive how many partners you got us right now. But it's also like a conflict. Maybe if different partners approach EPSA and they have to, you would probably have to choose someone.
Theo.
Theo VPER. It's a good question. For now, for all the partners we have, we only have one where we have non-competitor section in the contract. So it's EquaShield, so we can't sign any other contract with those companies that in the same field. But for the other ones, there is absolutely no problem, and they are very much aware that we can have a contract with partners that are working in the same style. And I'm always trying to negotiate. If they want the exclusivity, they know they will have to invest more in EPSA. So they are all very much aware about that, and I don't think it will cause any trouble in the future.
Thank you. Then we have EPSA.
Kate, EPSA, Ukraine. We want to continue discussion of the point which Jay raised yesterday about not involving some team members to the actual teamwork, as we faced the point in your report too. For your position, it's crucial to have a good contact with almost all other positions and their work. Do you think the problem in communication was because of the lack of communication structure in the work, or because of the level of personal engagement of some people?
Theo?
Theo VPR, I strongly think it's not a problem of communication, because I tried many times to change the communication. On LinkedIn, I tag all single EPSA team member on the post. I send a message on LinkedIn to sell to reshare on every channels we have. So for me, it's more a problem of personal engagement and commitment.
Thank you. Then we have GPSF. Dropped. Then we have KMPSV.
Eline Game, PSV the Netherlands. So in your report, you also talk about the mobility coordinator, and then especially in regards to the interprofessional twinnet or his or her contact with ESN. But from the report from the mobility coordinator, we also read in a sense that they were waiting on you. So we are more wondering if you have any advice for the next generation team to how to properly divide the roles and what is expected of each.
Theo?
Theo, VPR. Regarding interprofessional twinnet, the two main contacts are Pim and Catalina, because Catalina is the main contact person dealing with ESAS, so she's helping with the communication, but the mobility coordinator stays the responsible person for the project with them. Regarding ESN, I will have a meeting with them live in Brussels in the coming weeks, so I think starting from here, we will be able to really have a clear idea on how we will collaborate with them in the future. But I still think the mobility coordinator will stay the main contact. I mean, if the VPR is in Brussels, he can help to do more things with them because he will be there. But for all the rest projects, like for example, Mobility Booklet, European Mobility Week, where I think the collaboration with ESN will be very much important, it will be him, the person that will be holding this position.
Thank you. There are no other new points on the list. No, APEF, go ahead.
Beatriz APEF, Portugal. We would like to go back to the Medicines for Europe question because it's a very serious issue and it would like to have led to the loss of a significant part of EPSA's income. So we should know what happened to understand how to avoid this in the future. We understand that you have responsibility towards Medicines for Europe and you can't divulge any information about their internal reasons, but you mentioned in your report that the termination of the internship was not because of internal reasons only, but also a dissatisfaction with BITA's work. So we would like to ask you what happened and the reasons behind this dissatisfaction, if possible.
Technical from Theo?
Can you give me 2 minutes to discuss with exec?
Yes. Théo?
Theo VPR. Before I say anything, I need to say that Medicine for Europe stressed to us that Bita's work as a training coordinator is separate from her internship, and they don't want Bita's position in EPSA to be affected because of this. Regarding the issues, they mentioned arriving late to meetings, not going to the office without a warning, and going to Portugal often and in the middle of the week. However, this is just what they told us, and I encourage you to also ask Bita's feedback during her points.
Thank you. Oh, I see no other new points. No? KMPSV with the direct?
Eline, KMPSV, the Netherlands. Do you think that there are certain positions in the EPSA team that maybe it's better to not be an intern because of the workload or like the need to maybe travel more or something? Or do you think it doesn't matter and any position should be able to apply for the internship?
Theo?
Theo VPR, in my personal opinion, I think every position can apply. I think VPA, VP EDU, VP, YOR, for example, we have very big workload and we managed to combine everything. So I think it's possible for everyone.
Thank you. Are there any other new points? I see none. So then we will move on with the next report, which will be Pim Nikolai van den Doel, but he's not here. So should we continue? We will continue with Alex until we receive further updates about Pim. So Alex, you can come and present your updates. Alex, go ahead.
What about now? Since the beginning of my report, I have worked on Career Week 2023. This includes organizing and facilitating several webinars alongside the Vice President of External Relations, as well as with the help of the PR department, putting up several posts on EPSA social media. Moreover, I then liaised with the speakers from the aforementioned webinars so I can provide and deliver presentations to all interested parties. I liaised with alumni for the upcoming live chat with professionals at the 44th EPSA Annual Congress in Podčetrtek, Slovenia. I have been preparing for the mentoring project workshop and studying abroad workshop where I supported PIM and provided some relevant information to the participants as well. I contacted several organizations for updating or creating sub-pages for EPSA career page. I also attended the 15th meeting in Zagreb, Croatia, and was present at the LSS meeting, ORIS meeting, and first attendees meeting, as well as held the mentoring project workshop at the EPSA Annual Congress 2023. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. And we will move on to questions. So I open the floor for questions. Are there any new points? We have first Anep. First KMPSV. Okay, then first Anep.
Marie-Anne France, thank you so much for the way you have wrote your report, allowing us to better understand your position and its mission. What do you think about organizing workshop with member association, for example, how to write a CV, motivation letter, who and how to contact partner? Thank you.
Alex?
Thank you for the question. It's actually a very good question, and this idea has crossed my mind before. And I believe such an idea is very beneficial for the members because it can strengthen not only the relationship between the members and us, but it can also be beneficial for the members as students for their career development further. And it's something that we're actually currently doing for the mentoring project, but I believe this extension, if you want to call it this way, is very much needed because after all, the work of the professional affairs coordinator shouldn't only limit for the mentees, but to all interested students. So I support this idea wholeheartedly.
Thank you. Don't forget your name and your position. Then we have a direct from EPSA.
Kate, EPSA Ukraine, we also would like to thank you for your work. And actually what I just wanted to add is that during the year, Alexander invited us, our association, to join the Chat with Professional project, but unfortunately we couldn't, because of some conditions and reasons, we couldn't join, but this initiative was come from him to us, and we're really grateful for this. If we will have opportunity to join the next time, of course we will try to do this. So thank you.
Thank you. Do you have any other new points? I see none. Yeah, Alex, go ahead.
Alex, Professional Affairs Coordinator. I would like to thank Kate too for the responsiveness, and I would like to encourage everyone here that wants to take part in one of our activities to reach out, because this is made from students to students. So it would be beneficial to have different viewpoints and different expertise shared, so it can be maximally beneficial, so each association can be involved, because after all we are doing this for all of us.
Thank you. Are there any other new points? I don't see any on the speaking list either, so I think we can continue. Do we have any updates on PIM? Gabriel, go ahead.
Gabriel, President, the PIM is not here, so we will do the same as with Frey.
Okay. So then, Theo, will you present the updates? Anef, yes?
Marion and France, since Pim is at the GA, is it not possible to wait for him to be available?
Gabriel?
Gabriel, President, we've tried to contact him. He asked to change it to tomorrow morning. We don't have time tomorrow morning, and he's not busy with the educational program. He feels sick, so we don't know if he'll be better tomorrow. This would be our proposal that you answer the question.
Any other points? Go. If not, you can go with the updates.
Theo VPR. So since the writing of his report, PIM has completed the content of the internship mobility booklet, gathered information on the financial document together with the grant coordinator, worked more on the exchange booklet, prepared and had a workshop during AC on studying abroad. He brainstormed on the mobility week and prepared the handover period, and he attended the 50th meeting and the first attendee session.
Thank you. And I open the floor for questions on PIM's report. I see no questions, so then we can move on, I guess. Thank you. AFAP. No, KMPSV.
Canadian Game between Netherlands. So we were just wondering on more concrete specific updates about the ESA's interprofessional twinnet.
Theo?
Theo VPR, it's currently being reviewed by all ESA's members, and we expect to sign the agreement between all ESA's in the coming weeks.
Thank you. AFAP? No, direct from KMPSV.
Eline Game between Netherlands. Do you also know about plans on how to get these twinnet coordinators to connect? Because it will be like a way bigger pool with, again, very maybe different wishes and stuff.
Theo?
Theo VPR, we are currently brainstorming on it with all the other ESA's members. In the past, we usually do, like we did a meeting with twinnet coordinators of EPSA that didn't find any twinnet partner, with the EPSA twinnet coordinators that saying didn't find any partner or wanted to specifically do a twinnet with the EPSA. It worked pretty well. I think we should. Sorry. So I think we will suggest to do like that for the future as well. And if we see it's not working, we will find another way to do.
Alep? No? AFAP, sorry.
Elena of Austria. Since it's stated in the report that the mobility booklet should be finished before the AC, do you have any updates regarding that? Thank you.
Theo VPR, not much has been done on the mobility booklet. We will strive to do it before the end of the mandate.
Marion de France, we want to ask him like a question about his mandate and how do he feel about it. And we have got some. Okay, sorry, I'm struggling. I have some mention from Twinet coordinator that he was lacking of responses and was not very active. Do you have an update on that? Thank you.
Theo, VPR, we already had two internal meetings with Pim Marlina to see how we can improve this part, especially on the communication part. So, yeah, I don't have more to say. I think it's better if you can also go to see him and ask him directly.
Well, we had a direct from CBSA. Is it still a direct to what Joseph? Then we'll move it to a new point.
Okay.
No problem. And it's then Alep.
Marion and France, we are really disappointed the fact that Pim is not here to present himself his report since he's in GA and this like work during the year. So we do advise team members, please don't do that for the next one. And we do think that present your report is very important, especially during GA. So yeah.
Thank you. CBSA.
Hi, Eva, CPSA Croatia. So I just wanted to say that as a Twitter coordinator from Croatia, there was a lack of response from his side. So I did want to ask him what he's going to do about that.
Theo, VPR, for the rest of the mandate, if you have problems with communication, please, in the email, CC me, because I know it's not something you do naturally when you contact Pim, but if it doesn't answer, I can see it. When I'm CC, I try to answer and to, like, for example, draft the certificate if necessary. At least for the rest of the mandate, if you still experience this type of issue, please CC me in the email, so then I will make sure that it's fixed.
Thank you. There are no other new points on the list. PDSA.
At that PSA point, we propose to not accept the report of Pim as he's not present here, and we don't even know what's happening with him.
Just as a clarification, PPSC, the reports will be accepting the reports will be later. We will just now be discussing questions regarding the reports and Monday. Go ahead, Gabriel.
Gabriel, President, yeah, I was going to say that, and also if you wish for any report to be discussed separately from the other reports, feel free to let us know beforehand so we can have the motions ready and we don't have to be doing like 9.15 or something. So.
Thank you. Are there any clarification from KMPSC?
Eline KMPC Netherlands. So on the topic of not potentially accepting a report, could you maybe explain like the consequence? Because you mentioned it like in the beginning of GA that there's a possibility, for example, that the report is being updated. Because if you just say not accepted, what's the consequence?
Gabriel, President, if it's not accepted, the team member in question is not eligible for team fund. So the expenses with EPSA events and team meetings would not be reimbursed. All the other expenses, like if they go to a representation event or if they go and visit a member, they are still reimbursed, but the general one at the end of the year for EPSA stuff would not be reimbursed. And regarding the asking to change it, then this is no issue at all. But we only have tomorrow as the GA, so if you want anyone to change the report, I would recommend to say it as fast as possible because they would have like just a few hours to do it.
Okay, so just to clarify, the change can only happen now before we have the accepting, and you cannot pose anyone. Oh, I thought you were saying no to me. And you cannot pose like to tomorrow that it can be extended and accepted later or something like that. Just to be completely clear on what will happen. You're giving me a thumbs up. It means yes.
Gabriel, President, yes, we can. We could, in theory, postpone it to like next GA, for example. But okay, take a vote. Okay, Gabriel, President. In theory, it could go to the next GA. It can't be discussed on a last meeting, but we don't know if the team members will be there next GA, because from our team, we don't know that it's mandated to be there next GA. It is me. We'll continue as IPP. So, decide what you would like to do.
We have no, sorry, we have a technical.
Gabriel, President, sorry, we forgot to say something, but this also would put on, if we did it for the next GA, it would also put on hold the team fund process. So the rest of the team would have to wait until the next GA to have this final report either approved or not. And they would only be reimbursed for the expenses from this mandate instead of after the 60 meeting, after the second meeting of the mandate after.
And now we have
Annika of Austria, we hope it's not going to come to that, but we would just suggest to also put the two other who weren't available, two other positions, coordinators who weren't available, extra for that, because you said you would like to have some time to prepare it. We hope it won't come to it, but just judging from the discussion before, it might be good. Thank you.
Thank you. And we have Anne. No, Gabriel was the director.
Gabriel, President, can you show emotion cards on this? So, voting Pim's report, Charmaine's report, and Sandra's report separately from the others. Do you agree with that? Tomorrow? Okay, we will prepare those motions.
Okay, then we have Anne with a new point.
Marianne France, we would also add the report of Jorn and Beatrice, if it's possible, and if other people agree. Thank you.
Motion cards. And proposal. General agree. We have Akko with the director.
Annika of Austria, how would you feel of bundling all the ones that we separated from the other ones, or do you prefer to have it in one? Maybe first bundling? Okay, that's right. So maybe all of them. Thank you.
Thank you. Then we have the EPSA.
Madam EPSA Poland, I just want to ask, because I didn't understand like clearly, why Pim isn't available tomorrow to like explain what happened today, or is he?
Yeah.
Gabriel, President, we just don't know if he will be available tomorrow. He said that he felt sick. We have a really packed agenda tomorrow. This is all we're going to say.
Okay, then we have KMPSU, then
Eline KMPSU, the Netherlands. We are excited to see that the GA is taking a suggestion from the executive about this point because the president mentioned that this is possible. However, we do think that it's quite a drastic thing to now mention all of these reports as potentially not accepting them. Not saying that we think they were all perfect and that we 100% agree that they should be there, but just keep in mind that that's quite a significant thing that you're doing. And for example, in the case of Pim, he's not here to even defend himself now. Yeah, also with regards to the other reports, like, did you contact these people before? Did you really also try to see their side of the thing? Just think about that before we're now just thinking, done with it.
Okay, then we have APEP with the direct.
Beatriz APEF Portugal. We're just asking to vote this motion in parts already. We might or might not have time to hear them according to whatever situation we're still trying to figure out about Pim being able or not to present tomorrow. But if not, at least we don't feel comfortable voting on his report like this. So we would prefer to have it still in parts in case we don't have the chance to hear his report, because we also don't think it has a lot of information.
Thank you. Then we have Anna.
Marion and France, we're sorry, I don't understand what you say. But if I understand correctly, you were wondering if we do two separate motions, one that was previously said and the other one that we have some doubt about it, or if we are doing the one that was in the first motion and one by one. Is that it? Okay, so we would prefer one by one so we can have the discussion for each of them way more easily.
Yep, I saw some likes in the room. Then we have Asep.
Elena Asep, Switzerland. Since Pim is sick today, we feel that it would be only fair to give him a chance to defend himself tomorrow before we vote on his report.
I see green cards, green emotion cards. Gabriel?
Gabriel, President, we will tell him that we'll be discussing his report separately and that the members expressed the wish for him to be here when that motion comes. Just to explain further why we decided not to open the exception, it's just Pim told us that he thinks that he's sick because of alcohol and tiredness and lactose, and since 2 out of those 3 are his personal responsibility to take care of, this is why we chose not to move it into the emergency GA or.
Thank you. I see no other new points on the speaking list. EPSA.
That piece of Poland, I don't want you to think that we propose this, considering the voting separately. I don't want you to think that we are soulless or something, because we didn't know that reasons. So it was only the proposition because first, in the beginning of the discussion, we didn't know nothing about his absence, but now I think we can reconsider.
Okay. Thank you, PPSA. Technical from Gabriel.
Dear President, I just think it's important to state that this only means that the reports will be voted in separately and discussed separately. It has nothing to do with the outcome of the motions. They can all be approved still. It will just give you a space to discuss them separately.
Clarification from Anep.
Marion and France, just to be sure, when we are going to vote the report, the people that have wrote this own report can be present during this time, and we can ask questions at the person.
Gabriel?
Gabriel, President. Technically, yes. We usually, what we do is have this time for the reports, and then we have one motion with all of the reports, and then it's usually just a vote. But yeah, like it will be a motion. The floor is open on the motion. You can always talk and ask questions.
Thank you. I see no other new points on the list. So, Gabriel?
Gabriel, President. Then we finish for today. And
there is a point from KMPSV.
Eline KMPSV Netherlands. Wait. Are the team members really aware of this drastic consequence that could happen? Like, can you inform us on how you let them know? Because obviously, supposedly all coordinators and team members know, but yeah, this is a really drastic thing that we're considering, so it's good to know if they can expect it.
Gabriel?
Gabriel, President, yes. I think in every single team meeting so far, we talked about the team fund, and we, like Thiago explained, Arlene explained, so they know how it works, they know the consequences, they know what can lead them to lose it. Yeah, we also talked about, for example, like during the handover, if they don't deliver the handover and they don't have the 60 meeting report approved, that they won't receive team funds. They would read all of it. So.
Thank you. I see no other new points. Gabriel?
Gabriel, President, then now yes, we'll see each other at 9 a.m. tomorrow. BC, I don't know if you have any logistical elections that you want to tell them about the times and stuff, but I would ask you to do that before we leave. But after the roll call.
Yes. Go ahead, Elisa.
Elisa, section, and I will perform the roll call. I have AFAP Austria, BPHSA Bulgaria, CPSA Croatia, CIPSA Cyprus, CPSA Czech Republic, and France, BPSG Germany, GPSF Greece, SFD Lithuania, KNPSV the Netherlands, VFSO Belgium delegated to KNPSV the Netherlands, BPSA Poland, AFAP Portugal, FAS for Romania, NASR Serbia, JUST for Slovenia, FAS Spain, ASP Switzerland, EPSA International Turkey, UPSA Ukraine.
Elisa?
Elisa, section, I have collected 20 voting cards.
I suspend this anyway.
And just a small